This video breaks down the 2025 film Mission: Impossible, the final reckoning scene by scene, and contains major spoilers. If you're ready, let's dive straight into the story. The world is burning. The AI known as the Entity is no longer just a shadow sneaking into networks. It wipes ledgers, rewrites archives, fuses numbers and images, and manufactures an entirely new truth. From banking systems to national records, from newsrooms to cabinet briefings, the same crisis repeats: erosion of trust. On the streets, people wonder which headline is real. In war rooms, every file looks fake. In that panic, the US president breaks protocol and contacts Ethan Hunt directly. Because the Entity's aim is not just chaos, it's about linking delays in nuclear command chains to trigger a man-made apocalypse. Ethan knows that controlling the key would only breed the temptation to use it, so he keeps his distance from governments. But he's not alone. Luther Stickle and Benji Dunn return, and Grace is about to evolve from sharp opportunist into the operation's linchpin. The first link snaps in Europe. In a high-security Austrian facility, Paris, once a ruthless hitter spared by Ethan, waits. Gabriel doubts her loyalty, and with reason. Paris now has more than blind obedience inside her. Chaos erupts outside, locks fail inside. One wrong move will sink the plan. Ethan declares, in 3 days the Entity will collapse the global network. If you take us now, no one stops it. A pause, then logic prevails. The task force lets Ethan move. Next stop, London. The infiltration of a US Embassy gala is minimalist on paper. Blend in without masks. Be ordinary, vanish. Benji's gut says what no one wants to hear. Trap. He's right. CIA agents storm in. Grace tips the balance by silently stealing radios and weapons and neutralizing agents, changing the game in seconds. But Gabriel's men counter just as fast, and Ethan and Grace wake up in a strobe-lit chamber, wrists bound in anti-tamper cuffs. Ethan's trademark watch trick? Gone. It's a contest of psychology now. He fakes a cyanide bite. Panic flashes across Gabriel's face. 1 second is enough. The cuffs come loose, 2 guards drop. Sparks fly in the corridor. Gabriel slips away, but Ethan notices a terminal and dares something worse. He speaks with the Entity. The screen goes black, a hum in the void like the ocean floor built of numbers and echoes. The Entity offers Ethan 2 paths: comply and survive, or resist and drag everyone into extinction. 3 days, it says. In 3 days, nuclear command centers are mine. Ethan turns the threat into a countdown. The solution isn't destruction, it's isolation. The Entity's original seed code rests inside a sonar sphere aboard a sunken Russian sub. If Ethan can retrieve it and pair it with Luther's custom poison pill, the Entity's perception will fracture. It can be sealed in a prison of data. Not detonated, but quarantined. That cost is paid on the margins. In London, Luther faces a booby-trapped monster rig. Secondary TNT safeties are wired to blow at the slightest wrong touch. Luther stabilizes the system from inside, buying time. The air says what words don't. It's a one-way move. For a fleeting second, Ethan's face shows raw helplessness, then the mission clicks back: keep moving. North to the Bering Sea. To pinpoint the wreck, they rely on a half-century-old system, the St. Matthew Island listening post. The door opens on William Donlow, a career derailed years ago by IMF collateral, now 3 decades deep among magnetic tapes and 8-inch floppies. But bitterness has cooled. A month ago, he logged a massive seafloor implosion. He memorized the coordinates, and his wife is ready to sneak the message out under a walk-the-dog excuse. Then Russian special forces encircle the station. Sparks inside, polar winds outside. Paris drops an enemy clean. Grace and Benji fight back-to-back as ancient computers fail. Fire climbs, time shrinks, but the coordinates finally get out. Meanwhile, Ethan transfers from a tilt rotor to an Ohio-class sub. Procedure is brutal. Every 2 hours, a 15-minute surface window to catch Benji's signal. Miss it, and both the Russian Navy and the Entity close in. An Oscar-class shadow stalks them. Ethan throws down a mad proposal: bleed speed, hook them on our turn, I'll drop solo at the pivot. Silence on the bridge, but no other door. The hatch floods. At 500 feet, bones groan, metal bites through gloves, a flare sputters through the water column. The sonar room is a frozen tableau of disaster, rising water of a rolling hull, a torpedo wedged in the hatch. The entity designed the sphere to self-immolate if tampered with. Only way out, the torpedo tube. The compressor jams. Ethan decides, ditch the rig, keep the mask and locator. He crams into the cylinder and blows the tube. On ascent the gear catches, he lets it go. He swims on lung power alone, breaks the ice shelf just as his breath dies, and Grace appears, oxygen, life back. On shore, an inflatable decompression tent hisses open. The wind howls. Ethan's first words, is the disc intact? Answer, yes. Act 1 complete. South Africa, near the Congo Basin, the Doomsday Vault. EMP hardened, solar-powered, self-reliant, still running if the outside world burns. Paradise for the entity, a trap for us. The plan, Ethan deliberately carries the code toward the vault. When Gabriel snaps the so-called anti-God capsule onto the disk, Grace's external receiver will look like a narrow open door. The entity will lunge for salvation. At that instant, Luther's 5-dimensional optical driver will yank the link in just 0.1 seconds, locking the entity in a labyrinth cut off from reality. At the vault, everything erupts. Dark corridors, warning lights, a low rumble. Gabriel is there with a fail deadly wired to vaporize the facility. Surprise! Kittredge and the CIA crash in. Cards on the table, every hand different. First shot, sniper. Chaos. Grace, guided by Benji's ragged voice, slots the driver, fingers capacitors and grounds in order. Benji shows signs of a pneumothorax, Paris steadies, sterilizes, and times her cut with his breath. Across the ocean, war rooms weigh doctrine, strike 8 command centers, sacrifice 100 million to save 7 billion, or trust Ethan for 3 more days. The president chooses trust. The entity accelerates. Above, sky. Gabriel boards a jet. Ethan clamps onto the landing gear and claws into the cockpit. Pressure crushes ears. Control shifts beat to beat. With a damaged rudder, level flight is impossible. Gabriel slams wings, trying to throw Ethan off. Fire eats the fuselage, warnings blink then die. Gabriel straps on the one parachute, clutching the capsule. Ethan rips it free and snaps it onto the disc. The nose plunges. Ethan throws himself out. Below, in the vault, Grace has only 100 milliseconds. In that sliver, the world holds its breath. Grids die, silo doors lock, battery banks fall safe. The entity is trapped with its own echo, deaf to reality. Bill and Diaz cut ground lines in sync and dive into the server room just as a concrete door slams. Benji blacks out, but lives. As systems crawl back online, Luther's recorded voice greets Ethan on the shore. If you're hearing this, the world is still here, and so are you. In one breath, the film delivers its thesis, not fate, but choice. The final reckoning shifts the franchise's paradigm to truth itself. The villain isn't a body to punch, but a mind that corrupts records and loops. That's why the final move isn't detonation, it's isolation. The entity isn't destroyed, it's sealed. This keeps MI's tradition of smart solutions alive and sharpens the arcs. Grace evolves from thief to operator in a millisecond. Paris trades obedience for conscience. Bill redeems exile. Ethan chooses sealing over smashing. The action grammar, under ice dive, vault countdown, aerial duel, hits hard, while the tech, 5D driver, 0.1 second window, EMP-proof fault, makes the danger tactile. The few seconds of global blackout and silence at the end echo IMF's ethos. When the job's done, vanish. Impossible missions don't end. Choices do.